Pop Squat, coming at ya. Just did an absolutely amazing track. Baby Cody, God Level Freestyle. Please go listen to it. Oh my God, did I think it was cool, and I had to listen to it again right afterwards. So good. I had a number of good tracks tonight, so check out everything that I posted tonight. Super, super good. God, so fucking good. We've got a Glokk40Spaz track, and this was sent in by Kyler, one of my patrons. If you want to be a patron, you can join my Patreon. There's information down below. You can just takes you to my Patreon page. I have two levels, $2 and $10. If I could get, a few thousand people to just join my Patreon at $2, I could do a lot more of these videos. And put them up on different places. I was kind of running through those numbers last night in my head. I was like, man, if I could just get couple thousand people to put $2 in every month. It's like the old Steve Martin one show goodbye. That doesn't make any sense to anybody who hasn't listened to Goodbye and Thanks for All the Fish. Nope, that's not what it is. That's Douglas Adams' novel in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series. What I'm thinking of is Steve Martin's album. It's Best Fishes. Anyway, confusing. It's a fantastic album. It had King Tut on it. Go listen to the whole thing. We're going to listen to Glokk40Spaz. I Choose Violence. People have talked about this track for a while. I am interested in checking it out. It came out in 2022, April of last year, and produced by Four3va, which we have heard stuff from Four3va before, and 1J. It is the number 1 and the letters JAE, so 1J. I Choose Violence is the name of the track. This says on Genius, it says on I Choose Violence, Glokk boasts about his guns and his gang history whilst talking about his drug addiction. Throughout the track, he talks about his hard time trying to fall in love. Yeah, well, when you can't trust, that's probably makes it hard to fall in love. It is labeled as rap, alternative rap. God, okay, it's getting late. It's about 20 to midnight. Rap, Atlanta rap, and Plug NB. And there you go. Let's see here. One of the comments is Atlanta accent too strong. That seems like a goofy thing to say. 2 minutes and 40 seconds. I Choose Violence from Glokk40Spaz. This is a video. Directed by ITM, that's what it says here on the page, and I guess let's just get into it. Thanks again to Kyler, and thanks for being a patron. Thank you to all my patrons. I don't say that enough, and I really should say it more often, but I do appreciate it. You guys help me out. You've saved my bacon, let's just put it that way. I have been able to make rent for a couple of months because I've been able to rely on that money coming in, so thank you, seriously. Glokk40Spaz, I Choose Violence.
I love you, Jay.
Whatever the fucking goat,
I'm on the east side of my main vibe, my main thing. I got my blick hanging on my packet, let my trip hang. I got this stick on me when I'm whacking, nigga, catch a flame. I feel just like Wayne, bringing major pain. You keep screwing bang game with no money in your fucking pocket, nigga, that's a shame. I swing the J call when I can, I choose violence. I'm addicted to it, pill, and I can't get off. Bring back Kyra, this shit don't feel real, somebody just stop it. I got pioneers that can't see again, cause the police hit them with the charges. You and I know, baby like them, only choose a violent. Girl, you gotta go for my other bitch, start wildin'. I can't keep lying to these bitches, all these damn lies, just gon' start piling. Oh, I get my soul, I swear to God, it move slow. When I'm in the club, let this shit fire, nigga, when this shit look like she don't glow. Now look at me and tell me what the fuck I look like, fucking on the bro hoe. Now look at me and tell me, look at my eye, nigga ain't gon' go. Put this on the mall, nigga ain't no hoe. We call her a long passer to my bro. Push her to a crib, he lock it front door. Told her I want head, ain't fucking that hoe. I can't love no hoe. That could eat it, bro, my damn hot nigga, but this shit so. If I can just go back in damn time, swear to God, I probably wouldn't go. Sometimes just thinking in my damn head, like, when the fuck am I gon' blow? I get what you really never know. I get what you really never know. I ride a but pop and get on gone. I care but rock and take it phone.
That's probably my favorite part of the song, where he's kind of going nonstop, right? Lyric, 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 lyric. But then he gets to this point where he goes, I guess we'll just really never know. And he just sort of slows down and takes a breath for a minute. And it's probably my favorite part of the song. Because of that difference in his flow, because it seems like he has actually taken a second to think. There is some other stuff going on here that I don't know if I really want to comment on it. I don't know this guy. I don't know what he's like, but I get a couple of the things that he's saying here. Push up on this kid. Told her I want head. I ain't fucking that hoe. I can't love no hoe. They can't even break my damn heart. But this shit's so sore. If I could go back in damn time, swear to God, I probably wouldn't even go. That's not, you didn't notice that. But it's funny, quote unquote, the things he says about, I can't love no hoe, I ain't fucking that hoe. They can't break my heart. Nobody's a hoe. Nobody is. And you will find that people who do anything, right? But we're talking about hoes right now. So people who sleep around like that, one, they could just enjoy sex. And they're not a hoe. They just like sex. And maybe they also like a really nice lifestyle. But in some cases, it's people who want attention just like you do. And he's talking about, like, I can't love a hoe. Probably partially because it's the virgin whore thing, right? Like, every guy wants a virgin on their wedding night. I'm massively overstating things, generalizing things, because it's an old saying. That's what I'm pulling this from. Want a virgin on their wedding night, but then they want her to be like an absolute devil in the sack, right? Like they want her to just like do everything the guy wants to do. Like that's the old idea of how things were. And I think a lot of people fall into that mindset pretty easily. Like, oh, well, if you give it up really easily, then it's not really worth it to be with you. And it's a silly idea. Like, people have all sorts of reasons for wanting to have sex, wanting to have a relationship, wanting to do anything. And to dismiss somebody out of hand just because, like, they happen to enjoy sex and they want to have sex with you, like, that's a good thing. And maybe there's more to that person than that, and maybe it's worth it to spend some time to get to know that person. And also, who cares how many people someone has slept with? Honestly, who cares? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. As long as you're both looking for the same thing. I could get into all sorts of caveats and things to say about this, but those lyrics came through and I was like, like, I wish that idea would go away, that like somebody who enjoys sex is not worth being with, they're only worth having sex with, and even then only just barely, because they're so dirty. Like, that's ridiculous. It's absolutely a ridiculous, wrong-headed way of thinking. But again, the song is called I Choose Violence, so he is specifically going out of his way to sort of be offensive, I assume. And this may not be a thing that he thinks is particularly offensive, but it just kind of flipped something in my brain, and I was like, it's not the right way to think about it, because you could be missing out on people who are really fantastic people that mesh with you really, really well, and not just physically, but in many other ways. But because you disregard them as a whole, you will never get to know who they really are and what they think and feel and want to do with their life past that really superficial level of, oh, they also really like to have sex and they're good at it and they're hot and you want to have sex with them. So there's more there generally. I'll stop. Let's keep going. I'm liking the sound of this a lot. Like I said, this was the coolest part so far, where he sort of like takes a break and and pauses for a minute is the part I liked. I backed up a little bit.
I get what you really never know. I get what you really never know. I ride a boy, pop and get on gone. I care a boy, rock and take your phone. They trying to go young nigga, let it ever. I play with that kid in no halo. In that figure, roll like a relo. This might be one of them hardest fucking instrumental. Don't want me no angel, I ain't with rebel. Whole gang could've crashed out, but I ain't left. Told them ain't nothing bigger than 10 left. Told them ain't nothing fucking with good fellas. Told them ain't nothing bigger, ain't no better. Little Patty Baby Billy told me he can't smell him. Nigga, if it fuck him, nigga, then forgive him. I'm trying to hit the east side, hit the scrub, nigga, with King Thady. I'm on Glenwood with money riding, you know that money kinda dirty. Put on the Jason Mason and start purring. And she gon' get the dick tonight because she earned. Glock got STD to catch his ass and burn. Police on my phone, believe I got it burning. Oh, you a little screw, my gang is Georgia working. I'm trying to get activated by the perky. Do it 200, but ain't not no dirt. Spend money on drugs, nothing else deserve me. Can't afford love, girl, my pocket's hurting. Spend money on you, baby, you not worth it. I break your heart, baby, girl, on purpose. Back come to me, baby, I deserve it. So bad, to me, baby, I deserve it. I took niggas off, but I'm not perfect. I did bitch wrong, but I'm still learning. I used to cut myself cause I felt worthless. Got my tattoo, so that why I'm shirtless. Got brand new mama, this ain't working. Get in my bag, call me look like Birkin. Don't be shy to jerk or make her nervous.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really good song. It's a good track. I like that a lot. Yeah, a lot of stuff in here that he talks about, admits to. I used to cut myself. That must be way more common than, like, I never experienced it. I don't know anybody who ever did it. And maybe it's more common now. I have no idea. But it seems like such a strange thing to be becoming more common. And just what he says here, where is it? I used to cut myself because I felt worthless. The annotation on that is, this is real, man. Yeah. Spend money on drugs, nothing else deserved me. Can't afford. Shut up, computer, you stupid thing. I like this song. I like it. I also like how honest he is in it, and that it's unapologetic. Like, he's not saying like I necessarily feel bad about this. He does say if bad things happen to him, he deserves it. That's not saying I feel bad. That's just like, yeah, I probably deserve this. It's karma, right? That's literally what he says. I like this track, but I like any artist who can be honest, even if they exaggerate, right? That seems like a weird thing to say. Even if they take artistic license in their honesty and they don't necessarily come out and say 100% the truth, they say it in a way that makes it interesting to listen to and makes it possible for other people to go, I can identify with that. I get that. I get what he's saying. And I think this is absolutely fantastic track specifically for that purpose, because I think a lot of people from almost any walk of life can identify with some of the stuff that he's talking about. And he also happens to be somebody who has a gang background, sounds like sold drugs, sounds like may have had some violent episodes in the past, has done a fair amount of drugs, has been with a bunch of women, some of whom he wasn't particularly good to. And guess what? As you grow up and you get hurt and you do nasty things to people, maybe eventually you figure out you shouldn't do those things, because they end up just revisiting that pain and that hurt on somebody else just like you did to them. And then that means you grow up and figure out that, oh yeah, the whole point of this is to survive and to figure out and learn from what you've experienced, that what you really should be doing is being good to the people around you. You should especially be good to the people around you, the people that you can trust, the people who are with you, the people who back you up. Those are your family. Those are your friends. Those are the people that matter in your world. I'm talking a lot. Yeah, this is a good track. Any track that just lets you think about shit is good. Like it clicks those circuits in your brain to let you think about stuff, about your own life, and oh yeah, I get that. I understand what he's saying. That's good stuff. It's a good track. There you go. Kyler, thanks for sending this in, man. It's great. It's great. I've been looking forward to some more Glokk40Spaz, and this is pretty good. Pop squat. Check it out. Pretty good. It's pretty good. I just spent all that time talking about it. It's pretty good. It's better than pretty good. It's a great track. I'll be back with more, but Earl Sweatshirt's Grief got out of copyright jail, so it will be posted very soon, right after this. Have a good night. I'm going to go get these uploaded. Bye-bye.